In the Battle of Mayang between Qin and Zhao, Shin and his partners successfully defeated the enemy generals. Believing victory was within their grasp, a mysterious figure appeared like a ghost, instantly changing the course of the battle. This mysterious man, who called himself the martial god Panguan, exuded an overwhelming pressure. Qiang Lei, the vice captain of the Hishin Unit and a descendant of the assassin clan, knew all too well the terror such a being could bring. But Shin paid no heed to this. Seeing his comrades fall, he was consumed by rage and charged forward with his sword. He then teamed up with Qiang Lei, but they couldn't even touch the corner of Panguan's clothes. Instead, they were beaten by the other party without any chance to fight back. In desperation, Qiang Lei had to use his secret technique, but Panguan remained calm at this time. Facing Qiang Lei's attack, Panguan dealt with it easily.
No男かと思い出てきたが、お前も我が敵、神を落とす者か。これも天の導き。だが、天が恐れる者は、この宝剣ただ一人。
As Qiang Lei was about to be finished off by Panguan, the brothers of the Hishin Unit hurled every spear they could at Panguan. However, he easily deflected these attacks. Suddenly, reinforcements from Zhao arrived, and Panguan's identity was revealed. He was the supreme commander of the Zhao army. Everyone was shocked by this revelation. With the enemy growing in number, the Hishin Unit had no choice but to retreat, protecting the severely injured Shin and Qiang Lei as they broke through the encirclement. But the Zhao army was not willing to let them go. A unit led by Wangi began a relentless pursuit of the Hishin Unit, targeting Shin, the captain of the Hishin Unit who had killed the Zhao General Ji. The journey was fraught with heavy casualties. To protect the unconscious Shin, Wei Ping decided to lure the pursuers away on his own. He gave his blood-stanched belt to Wei Dao, urging him to take Shin to safety while he took a different path.
俺たちでシンを守り抜くんだ。身体の隊員として、長と村のダチとしてな。
When Shin awoke, he found himself and Wei Dao lying on a grassy field, thinking they were finally safe. Wei Dao began reminiscing about their childhood memories, from their first meeting and fight to Shin's aspiration to become a great general, which everyone had mocked. Wei Dao admitted that he had once thought Shin's dreams were far-fetched, but now he firmly believed that Shin would indeed become a great general. He urged Shin to carry the dreams of all their fallen comrades and keep moving forward. Wei Dao then joked that he was tired and wanted to rest for a while. Back in their hometown, a girl who had always prayed for them seemed to hear Wei Dao's final apology.
今、ミトの声がごめんなって。
When Shin awoke again, he found that Wei Dao had forever closed his eyes. Wei Dao, usually a bit timid and prone to boasting, had stepped up in the crucial moment, giving his life to secure Shin's survival. He had fulfilled his mission, just as Chiang Lei had said. Wei Dao was a kind person. Shin, carrying the immense sorrow of losing his comrade, reunited with the surviving members of the Hishin Unit. Overnight, their force of 100 had been reduced to just 36.
一夜にして半分以下になってしまいましたね。飛信隊は。
When General Wangi questioned him, Shin suppressed his grief and stated that he could not stop moving forward because their fallen comrades would not want to see them halt. All he could think about was how to continue the fight with the remaining 36 men. Shin's resolve earned the recognition of General Wangi. He told Shin that the path of a warrior is one filled with sacrifices, and the more they endure, the stronger the army becomes. The Hishin Unit had truly lived up to its name. Meanwhile, Yingzheng, the king of Qin, received shocking intelligence. Yang Duanhe, the queen of the mountain country, brought news that Zhao had secretly annihilated 100,000 Xiongnu troops at their northern border. This mysterious northern army was led by Li Mu, the foremost of the new three great heavens. Yingzheng and Chang Pingjun instantly understood Zhao's sinister intentions. They had hidden this elite force to use as a surprise attack at the critical moment of the main battle between Qin and Zhao, aiming to decide the outcome in one stroke.
とにかくご無事で何よりでした。
地方撤収です。もう軍来ます。
On the battlefield, Li Mu, disguised as a military strategist, was lurking behind the Qin army, misleading Shin's friend Liao Diao. It was only when Zhao's hidden army appeared that Li Mu's true identity was revealed. He was the real commander-in-chief of the Zhao army.
趙の三大天というものを知ってるか？
もちろん知っている。
それだ。
まさかあの男が新たな趙三大天の一人。
The tide of the battle reversed instantly, and the Qin army fell into Li Mu's meticulously laid trap. To rescue the besieged Mengwu army, Wang Qi decided to abandon their main camp and launch a full-scale attack on the main camp of Zhao's commander, Zhao Zhuang. Wang Qi's army, like a sharp spear, tore through Zhao's formation, seemingly unstoppable. Just as the Qin army thought victory was assured, Li Mu's great heavenly banner slowly rose, signaling the arrival of the true main force on the battlefield. On the battlefield, two destined opponents met again after 9 years. One sought to prove himself as an unrivaled martial god, while the other aimed to bury a haunting past.
貴様をここで葬り、我が武神たることを天に指し示す。
Facing Panguan's wild claims, Wang Qi merely sneered in contempt. The weight he had carried over these 9 years was far beyond the understanding of someone obsessed with personal strength. At the core of this weight lay a sealed name, Liao. In the palace of Qin, the young king Yingzheng was also curious about this legendary general. Who was this Liao, entangled deeply with Wang Qi and Panguan, and even forbidden to be discussed by the late king? As Chang Wenjun narrated, the first shocking secret was unveiled. The illustrious General Liao, one of the 6 great generals, was actually a woman. Even more astonishing was her other identity.
六代将軍今日は女でした。そして王妃の妻になるはずだったのです。
The story goes back to the past when Liao first appeared in the army, and everyone was skeptical. How could a girl from a servant background stand her ground on a battlefield of iron and blood? However, the battlefield is the best test of strength. Liao quickly dispelled everyone's doubts with her innate military talent. Whether in personal martial skills or battlefield strategy, she displayed a genius-level prowess, becoming the most brilliant star beside Wang Qi. In the brutal Battle of Nan'an, the Qin army suffered heavy casualties. Wang Qi, serving as the main commander for the first time, entrusted the crucial flank to Chang Wenjun and Liao. It was before this battle that he revealed a deeper secret about Liao's background to Chang Wenjun. Wang Qi told him that Liao was not the daughter of a servant. Her mother had been a palace maid who later gained the favor of King Zhaoxiang of Qin and gave birth to her. To protect her daughter from palace intrigues, her mother entrusted the newborn to a trusted comrade outside the palace. The one who adopted this child was Wang Qi's father. Thus, Liao's true identity was the biological daughter of the late King Zhaoxiang of Qin. This secret was confirmed after the great victory at Nan'an. King Zhaoxiang of Qin personally came to the military camp to reward the soldiers, and specifically asked to meet the female soldier who had made many outstanding achievements. When the unaware father and daughter met for the first time, the connection of blood instantly bonded them. Looking at his daughter, who bore the demeanor of a ruler just like himself, King Zhaoxiang of Qin was filled with complex emotions. He could not openly acknowledge her identity, as it would shake the foundation of the nation. The only thing he could do was to honor her as my treasure, bestowing upon her the highest glory.
よく頑張ったの、キヨ。大き同様、お前もわしの宝だ。
From that moment on, Liao wore a mask, hiding both her appearance and her identity as a woman.
王妃様が目指すのと同じように、私も天下の大将軍になって敵の城を100個取ったら、私を妻にしてくださいと。
Her reasons for fighting on the battlefield became pure and unwavering. It was a sweet yet heavy promise between her and Wang Qi. This childhood just became those lifelong pursuit. The battlefield was her destiny, her comrades her family, and Wang Qi, the one she strived to stand beside for a lifetime. To conquer 100 cities and become his wife, this was her greatest wish as a warrior and as a woman. As time passed, Liao's military achievements grew ever more illustrious. Finally, she faced the battle for her 100th city, the conquest of Mayang. Wang Qi, serving as her deputy, fought alongside her. The promise seemed within reach.
次の培養で100個目の城です。
When she heard that Wang Qi still remembered their promise, even the exact number of cities, Liao's heart surged with immense emotion. Years of military life, all her strength and disguises, melted into tears of joy at that moment. However, fate revealed its cruelest face at this moment closest to happiness. Just as Mayang City was captured and the agreement was about to be fulfilled, Panguan, who had always been pursuing personal strength, appeared in front of Liao like a ghost. He ended the life of this brilliant female general with his own hands, shattering Wang Qi's entire world. This heart-wrenching pain Wang Qi never forgot. For 9 years, the flames of anger never subsided. At this moment, he was determined to settle this blood debt accumulated over 9 years, with interest. Wang Qi, as a general, carried the sacrifices and expectations of countless comrades, a weight that Panguan, a lone warrior, could never understand. This weight was also the source of his strength, including Liao's wishes.
安心なさい。あなたに言われるの私の怒りは収まっていませんよ。
Liao's death had always weighed heavily on Wang Qi's heart. He had never forgotten it over the years. All along, Wang Qi had believed that Panguan had died in the storm of arrows, never imagining that he was still alive. He turned his sorrow and anger into strength, continuously launching attacks on Panguan. Wang Qi's offensive was like a collapsing mountain and a raging sea, forcing Panguan into retreat. However, just as Wang Qi was about to slay his enemy, a great conspiracy surfaced. Li Mu, one of Zhao's 3 great heavens, led a massive army and appeared behind Wang Qi's forces. It turned out that this war had been a trap from the beginning. Li Mu, who seemed gentle and refined, was the true mastermind. He used Panguan's obsession with Wang Qi as bait, meticulously planning this deadly trap. Li Mu's goal was to completely eradicate Wang Qi, known as the Qin's Oddbird. Facing an enemy 10 times his size and a carefully laid trap, Wang Qi found himself in an unprecedented predicament. Yet, on his face appeared a long-lost, excited smile.
20年ぶりですか、この感覚。久しぶりに血が湧き立ちます。
For the first time in 20 years, he felt a crisis that made his blood boil. There was no room for schemes, only the clash of strength remained.
「ここから撃てる策はもはや一つもなさそうです。しかし策がなければ力技です。」この声を聞く王家軍の兵士に言い渡します。敵の数およそ10倍ならば1人10冊を義務付けます。敵10人を撃つまで倒れることを許しません。
Wang Qi issued the simplest and cruelest command to his entire army. In this desperate situation, they would carve a bloody path with pure will and strength.
皆の背にはすでにこの王旗がついてますよ。
With this roar, Wang Qi's army showed their true terror. They transformed into beasts of the battlefield, launching a desperate charge into the seemingly insurmountable sea of Zhao soldiers.
進突撃
However, just as the battle between Wangi and Panguan was about to be decided, the unexpected happened. This was Li Mu's final safeguard and his most despicable move. But Wangi did not fall. With his last strength, he urged his subordinates never to give up, for that was the pride of Wangi's army.
たとえ何が起ころうと、死んでも諦めぬことが王騎軍の誇りだったはずですよ。なぜ戦いをやめるのですか?
Roaring, he wielded his spear, opening the final path for his army. At this moment, Wangi tightly gripped the weapon in his hand, continuously pressing toward Panguan. The so-called general is merely a title. However, few are those who can be bestowed with the title of general. To be a general, one must overcome dangers and achieve countless military merits. As a general, you must be responsible for the lives of millions of people and repay them with honor. Under the desperate cover of his loyal subordinates, the severely injured Wangi was rescued from the encirclement. Li Mu knew that Wangi's army had now become vengeful demons, and continuing the pursuit would only bring unnecessary casualties. Thus, he ordered the chase to stop, as his strategic goal had been achieved. At the last moment of his life, Wangi pulled Shin onto his warhorse.
わらべし、背筋を伸ばし、目を閉じ、深呼吸をしなさい。私と共に馬に乗る機会などめったにありません。これは貴重な体験です。
He made the boy close his eyes and feel the scenery that only a great general could see. The bodies of enemies, the shouts of allies, the vast sky and earth. All of this constituted the world through a general's eyes. This was not just a tactical vision, but a vision carrying the responsibility and glory of countless lives. Knowing his time was short, Wangi entrusted his army to his most trusted lieutenant.
と長く私を支えてくれましたが、本来あなたの実力は私に見劣りしません。
この軍の先のこと一切をあなたに委ねます。
He encouraged Meng Wu, who was tormented by guilt, and regarded him as a future pillar of Qin. Finally, he handed over his long spear, which had accompanied him for many years, to Shin. This spear was not just a weapon, but also a symbol of Wangi's will. He entrusted his dream of unifying the great nation, along with Liao's wishes, to this young man who had nothing but unlimited potential.
Ohki-shogun!
Before setting out, Wangi had conveyed the true last words of King Zhaoxiang of Qin regarding benevolent governance and the grand ambition of unification to Yingzheng, thus fulfilling his final duty as a subject. A legendary figure thus fell. The news of Wangi's death shook Qin, but his army did not scatter. They defended the Qin border of Mayang and brought their general back to their hometown intact. At Shin's call, all the soldiers stood tall. They were to return to Xianyang with dignity, as victors, alongside their general.
Minna顔を上げろ! 胸を張って王騎将軍と一緒に堂々と帰るんだ!
これより秦国大将軍王騎将軍が帰還する!
The city gates slowly opened to welcome the returning hero. Although Wangi had passed away, his spirit and will forever remained with his soldiers in this land. A new era was slowly unfolding, ushered in by the young people he had personally entrusted.